Do you ever buy something for your sewing room because everyone said it was life-changing, and then you use it once and think, "Why on earth did I spend money on that?" Yeah, I've been there too. Hey friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name's Becca, and in this video, I am sharing 7 quilting tools that I personally regret buying. Now, before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This is just my take. Some of these might be a little controversial because I know a lot of quilters absolutely swear by them. But what doesn't work for me might be your favorite thing ever, so please don't take offense if I yuck your yum. Remember, it's your sewing room and you get to do you, boo. First up, creative grids rulers. People love these, and honestly, I did too. The markings make total sense to my brain, and there are way too many rulers out there to struggle with one that you just can't read. Creative grids are crisp, they're clear, and they're easy to follow. Plus, they've got some little dots on the back that help keep the ruler from sliding around somewhat. So they really do have a solid product on their hands. I loved them so much that I bought tons of them. I had the 6 by 24, the 6 by 12, and every square size from 1.5 all the way to 16.5. And let me tell you, it was a hefty investment, one ruler purchase at a time. But then at QuiltCon in Raleigh, I saw a demo for Quilter Select rulers. And y'all, I am here to tell you that it was game changer. Someone once told me that they are no different than creative grids rulers, and I am here to tell you that that person was wrong. These rulers do come in 3 different colors, clear, pink, and yellow, and they work both for right and left-handed users, but the best part about it is that grip. It's incredible. If the ruler slips, your fabric is going to slip with it. So my regret here actually isn't buying creative grids. My regret is buying all of the creative grids rulers before I found Quilter Select. And if you want to see a deeper dive on those rulers, I have a video that you can check out in the description box down below, and I'll link it in one of the corners up here. Speaking of rulers, I would be amiss if I did not talk about the Stripology Ruler. The Stripology Ruler gets a ton of love. It's designed so that you can lay it on your fabric and run your rotary cutter through pre-measured slots. No lifting, no remeasuring, just cut after cut. And that's awesome for some people, but for me, I've got a good rhythm with a regular ruler and rotary cutter. So Stripology is big, it's bulky, and I have to clear off a space every time I want to use it. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I'm faster without it. If I were cutting hundreds of strips, maybe I'd pull it out. But right now, it just kind of hangs out in my sewing room, judging me for not using it. My lesson is that it's a great idea, but it's a little bulky and doesn't work for how I like to cut. In the vein of cutting, let's talk about the AccuQuilt. The AccuQuilt promises to make cutting easier and more precise, and people love it because it makes the same cuts quickly and perfectly. You just layer the fabric on the die, add a mat, and run it through. And when it comes out the other side, bing, bang, boom, perfect pieces. But there are trade-offs. You can only do about 6 layers of fabric at a time. The dies are pricey, the mats wear out, and the smaller machines, you still have to hand crank every pass. I bought one, used it maybe once or twice, and realized I felt like I could cut faster with my rotary cutter and ruler. So I ended up gifting that to my friend Mary, who traded it in for the electric version. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to invest one, go electric. Your wrists will thank you. And if you do a lot of applique or curve shapes, I'm going to tell you it is absolutely worth it. But for traditional piecing, nah, not so much for me. People love spray basting because it is so much faster than pin basting and it holds the layers together more securely. And that's true. I loved it for all those reasons too, until I didn't. It works great, but the hassle for me just isn't worth it. It stinks. It's sticky. You've got to use it in a ventilated space, preferably outside. And when you're outside, you need a large surface for your quilt sandwich, but who wants to put their fabric on the ground? Plus, overspray is a real thing. You'll get residue on your table, your floor, you, and maybe even your pets if they wander too close. These days, I would rather pin or use a big basting stitch on my machine. Spray baste holds beautifully, but it's smelly, it's sticky, and it's way too high maintenance for me. And I have a long arm, so realistically, I'm not basting big quilts. Chalk marking tools are great in theory. They let you mark fabric for piecing or quilting, and the marks just wipe off. The product is basically a chalk dust or a chalk pen, and that's fine when it works. I'll be honest, I still use the white chalk, the Choco Liner pen. It's my favorite for marking dark fabrics. Before I had my long arm, I invested in some stencils and pounce pads with that chalk powder. It's supposed to let you apply chalk through the stencil so that you can trace over the chalk lines while quilting. Brilliant idea, in theory, but the chalk dust I felt like disappeared way too fast, sometimes even before you could start quilting. And the other colors, like blue, they don't want to leave at all. I used a blue chalk pencil on a quilt I made for my father-in-law when I first started quilting, and those marks checked in, but they never checked out even after multiple washes. Apparently, this is a common problem, which I learned the hard way. My lesson here is white chalk, great. Blue chalk, hard pass, and always test your color of chalk before you start. Ah, yes, the friction pen debate. People love these because the marks disappear with heat, no water, no erasing, just iron and done. But there's a catch. The ink reacts to heat and friction, which makes the color pigment invisible, not gone. And when the fabric gets cold enough, those marks can reappear. I used them early on in my career too, until I watched a friend's garment project get completely discolored from one of those pens. Brand new fabric, ruined. Sometimes I actually want my marks to last through the pressing and piecing, so heat activated disappearing ink isn't always ideal for me. And rumor has it, Pilot, the company that makes them, has said that these are stationary pens, not sewing notions. My personal take, use the tools that are made for fabric, like the sew line pens. And if you still want to use Frixion pens, you do you, but please test on your fabric first. My lesson, Frixion pens, convenient? Yep. Reliable for fabric? Nope. Hey friends, quick story time. About a year ago, FlexiSpot reached out to me and offered to send me a desk chair to try. I figured, sure, why not? Well, turns out I loved it, so I made the ad they asked for in exchange because I genuinely thought that it was one of the most comfortable and supportive chairs I've ever used. And here's the kicker. A year later, that same chair is still in amazing shape. Fast forward to now, my old horn chair that I bought about 6 years ago, let's just say it's seen some better days. So I reached back out to my friends at FlexiSpot, let them know I was in the market for a new chair, and they sent me their new C7 Max ergonomic chair. I'm hooked all over again, you guys. It's got everything I loved about the first one, the breathable mesh back and seat, the adjustable headrest, the lumbar support that actually supports your lower back and your sacrum. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I know it's doing it. If you're not a fan of the mesh, they also make versions with foam cushions so you can pick what fits you the best. And these new 5D armrests that they have, my goodness, they rotate almost 360 degrees, which makes it perfect whether I'm typing, sewing, or hand stitching. And the footrest, way sturdier than before. I can recline, kick back, or even sit cross-legged during long editing or stitching sessions. It's customizable, super comfortable for all-day use, and it's backed by a 10-year warranty with a 30-day risk-free return policy. If you want to check it out, head over to FlexiSpot.com and you can use my code C730 to get $30 off. And they also have a budget-friendly C5 and an upgraded C7 Morpher if you want even more back support. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Once you try a FlexiSpot chair, you'll understand why I keep coming back. Now let's get back to that video. People love ironing boards because they're classic. They fold up, they're adjustable, and they look like the official pressing setup every quilter should have. But for me, they just never worked. When I want to press, I have to pull out the ironing board, set it up, and then when I'm done, put it away. In my sewing room, that takes up precious floor space, and I am a big believer in dedicated workstations when possible. Things that are always set up and ready to go, like my YouTube setup. My camera, my mic, my lights, they all stay out, powered, and in place so that I can hit record anytime I need. So I applied that same idea to my pressing setup. Instead of using a traditional ironing board, I use my Martelli table as both a pressing and cutting station. I keep a large wool mat on top of it for pressing. It's wide enough to handle a full width of fabric in about 24-inch chunks. When I need to do big cuts, I just pull out a 36 by 24 mat, set it on top of the wool pressing pad, make all of my cuts, and then when I'm done, I tuck it away again. Most of the time, though, I'm actually using that surface for pressing, so that works perfectly for me, and it takes up no extra footprint in my sewing room because the table was already there and already a part of my workflow. And honestly, I like the way that looks more than an ironing board. I've even thought about building a custom station, the same height as my Martelli table with some closed storage underneath and an area kind of like a shelf underneath the wool pressing mat where I could slide my cutting mat in so it could store flat away from the heat. And that would hopefully keep it from warping. My lesson here is that traditional ironing boards just don't fit my workflow, and I would rather press on a sturdy, multi-purpose table that's always ready when I am. And there you have it, 7 quilting tools I regret buying. If you love any of these, awesome. Everyone's workflow is different. But if you're trying to figure out what's worth it in your sewing room, hopefully this helped you save a few dollars and maybe a little frustration. Now I want to hear from you. What's the one quilting tool that you regret buying? Tell me in the comments down below. Let's commiserate on this together. If this video is helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more quilting tips and real talk, and I'll see you in the next video.